Okay, so our presentation and project was on the analysis on students during COVID. Our team members were me, Ananya, Alvin, Ethan, Clark, Andrew, Maddox, and Julian. Our team used the COVID-19 and its impact on education, social life, and mental health of students, a survey report to analyze relationships between age, time spent in online class and reading, time spent on sleep, weight change, and multiple other factors to determine the impact of the pandemic on 1,182 students. So we took the given data and performed comparisons and visualizations to determine whether correlations were positive or negative and whether certain factors influenced others more than the rest. In the end, all of our visualizations were created with the purpose to determine how students' mental health changed over the pandemic and how them and their habits changed.
For our hypothesis, we thought that the quarantine resulting from the COVID pandemic had an overall negative effect on the population of New Delhi. And our data set compiles results from a cross-sectional survey conducted with a sample size of 1,182 students from different age groups and educational institutions in the Delhi National Capital Region. We imported the libraries that we used were Seaborn, PyPlot, and Pandas, and we imported our data through a CSV file, and we used the Pandas module to get the data from it.
We use the column ID and non-null count code to find out the ID values for each column, identify how many null values were in each column, and get rid of the null values for columns 4 and 5.
Start off our analysis, we use Seaborn and Matplotlib, two visualization modules, to generate a heat map showing the correlation between columns. The lowest correlation was the time spent on sleep and self-study, and the highest correlation that was not a column colliding with itself was the number of meals per day against the time spent on fitness.
Self-study versus social media. First, we installed Plotly and imported Plotly as PX. Then we used px.scatter along with our previously acquired data to produce a trend line that showed the correlation between time spent on social media and time spent studying. We did this to see if there's a correlation between time spent on social media and time spent studying. And our results showed that an increase in study time also showed a decrease in time on social media.
Correlation of online experience and family connection. Using the gathered data set for COVID-19 and its impact on students and a combination of bar graph data, replace, and group by functions, we formed a bar graph. In addition to add a bit of color, we used range color and continuous scale. We wanted to see if there was a correlation between a better connection with family and the online learning rating or experience rating. As a result, a bar graph was formed that showed the correlation between family connection and online experience.
So in this section, we use the group by function and px.scatter to create a data chart and scatter plot with a line of best fit. We did this in order to compare the ages of subjects and time each of them spent on sleep. For the graph, each dot represents how many hours the subject had slept on average in correlation to their age. From the graph, we are able to determine an overall negative correlation, meaning that as the age of the subject increased, the time spent on sleep was less. However, we did see that much of the data varied greatly from person to person. That is, there were some individuals above the age of 30 who got more sleep than some of the subjects under 20.
Correlation of time spent on fitness. No, wait, sorry.
We wanted to find the correlation of a student's weight to the amount of fitness they did during the COVID-19 pandemic. We took the average of the fitness time and compared it to their weight. We found the average of the people who lost and gained weight as well as for the people whose weight stayed remained constant.
Okay, so the rating of online class correlation with medium used. We wanted to find out if there was any correlation between the medium used for online class and the general experience people had online. The result was a 2.8 from people who used laptops, desktops, and smartphones, and the lowest rating was people who only use smartphones.
So in this section, we tried to find the correlation between time spent in online class and weight. So using the group by and mean functions from the pandas module, we took the data from the time spent in online class and the reported changes in weight, and we compiled it into a simplified chart. And then we turned our data into a bar chart using the px.bar function from the plotly module. And we thought that there would be a positive correlation between the time people spend in online class and their weight, since people wouldn't really be moving around a lot, but it turns out there was no correlation.
So each of these conclusions provide explanations for the graphs shown above. For us to determine whether the data overall proves our hypothesis to be true, we'd have to take all of this and compare it to data from the same survey before the pandemic. From just this, we cannot tell if mental health got worse. So this was our presentation. Thank you.